Most people are using AI the way they've used Google for the last 20 years. Is it helpful? Sure, but it's not game changing. And let's be real, the bar for helpful is low. You ask a question, you get an answer. Maybe it saves you a few minutes. But what if I told you that the real power of AI isn't asking it questions, it's not even having it do your tasks for you. It's actually in building tools that build tools that do 10 times more than you can ever do manually. It's in leveraging your leverage. What does that even mean? Well, in a lot of things, I'm pretty risk adverse. You won't see me doing perps. You won't see me doing longs or shorts. I don't do a lot with leverage in the financial markets currently. I know I'm missing profit by not using leverage there, but my focus isn't learning how to be a world-class trader. Instead, I want to help my clients and customers to the best of my ability. I've done that by leveraging my time in the past, but over this past year, that's been cranked up to 11 because of AI and MCP servers in particular. Now, I know that might sound like a buzzword salad, but stick with me here because when you understand this leverage shift, it levels up your productivity many times over. I'm talking about your time. I'm talking about your creativity, your business, your future. In this video, I'm going to show you what most people are getting wrong about how they use AI. Why it's not about being more productive in the moment, but it's about being more strategic, not just for your current task at hand, but for your future tasks. It's like sharpening your saw, as Dr. Stephen Covey talks about in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. But instead of sharpening your saw so you can cut down this tree today and expending all that energy for that one tree, instead you build a machine that clears the whole forest. So yeah, let's talk about how to leverage your leverage. You see, when it comes to using AI, most people stop at level 1, but chatting with AI is not enough. Most people think they're using AI, but really they're just having conversations with a slightly smarter version of Google. They ask it to write an email. They ask it to fix a headline. Maybe they use it to brainstorm or summarize something faster. And that's definitely helpful. I mean, I still use chat myself at times, but it's still just level 1. You see, there's a big difference between using AI to do a task and building with AI to multiply your capacity. Most people stop at that first layer. They treat AI like a digital intern. Do this task, answer this question. But that's like owning a supercar like a Lamborghini, but never leaving your neighborhood. It's great, but it has so much more potential that you aren't using. So let me give you a real example. While I was building my SaaS, my software as a service product, I was working with AI, instructing it how I wanted some code refactored and how it should be done. I realized it was going to try and start going through a bunch of files to make tweaks. Instead, I stopped it and asked it to write a Python script that wouldn't just update the files in this main frameworks project, but I could easily use that script for all of the client project sites that I created that relies on this framework and utilizes the same programming mechanisms. This way I could then have an AI agent actually run that Python script against each one of those client projects as I went to update them. And it did. I cut down that first tree by spending a little more time sharpening the saw. But then I was able to cut down a bunch more trees without really any additional work. I pointed the AI at my other client projects and told it to run the script and then, let it loose. All those files were modified to work in the new way. If I were doing it by hand, it would take me 2 to 3 days worth of work. With AI editing the files directly, it would have been a few hours of work. But by creating the tool, it was literally 20 minutes of work. So from 3 days down to 20 minutes. Think about that. Instead of asking AI to do the edits for me, I got it to build a tool so I never have to do those edits again. That's leverage. That's building a chainsaw instead of using an axe. Now, imagine if more freelancers, agency owners, or startup founders were thinking that way. Instead of using AI like a one-off assistant, they start using it like an architect, helping them design systems that would do 10 times, 50 times, even 100 times the work with zero extra effort. And yes, you can still chat with AI, but chatting is just the beginning. You see, your company is not competing with AI. Your company is competing with others who are using AI better. You've probably heard the line, AI isn't going to take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI better might. And yes, that's kind of the whole point, because here's what I noticed. Most people think that AI is here to help them work faster, But the ones who really are thriving right now, they're not just moving faster, they're building machines that do the work while they sleep. Imagine two businesses offering similar services. One is doing great work by hand, customized, all in. With the other, they built a system where AI agents handle the setup, handle 80% of the heavy lifting, and they only step in for the high value creative thinking. Who wins that game? Well, it's the one with the shed full of chainsaws. I mean, there is a place for the customized by hand artisan, but you better be charging a very high premium price because you won't survive if you're trying to do that and compete with someone using AI. Because once you start stacking these tools, things are just going to compound. It's not just save an hour here or automate a calendar there. It becomes a calendar app that integrates with your client onboarding, a project scope generator based off a discovery call, a system that improves itself every single time you use it. You go from building one bridge at a time to managing like a network of highways. It doesn't mean you lose that personal touch. Actually, when AI handles the repetitive stuff, you have more time to show up for your team and your customers in a more impactful way. It allows you to bring insight, intuition, and creativity that no machine can match. And this is what it means to leverage your leverage. Not just to work faster, but to work smarter by designing a system that works harder for you. You can start small, but you need to be thinking about systems. Now, if all this feels a little overwhelming, here's the good news. You don't have to build a full-blown system today. In fact, you can't. You have no idea what to build yet. But the great thing is that movement brings clarity. So you just have to start. So pick one small place where you're doing repetitive work and then ask yourself, can AI help with this? Can I get AI to build a tool that helps with this every time? Can I reuse this across multiple parts of my business? The magic is not in building the perfect solution up front, but the magic's in designing with reusability and scale in mind, even if you're just solving one problem today. Because let me put it this way. It's one thing to have a chainsaw. It's another to keep that chainsaw fueled, sharpened, and ready, and to have a plan for when and how you use it. That's how you build momentum. You're not just reacting, you're anticipating. You're being proactive. You're designing guardrails and guides that help your AI tools work better, not just once, but over and over. You can think about like setting up a franchise model inside your own company. You create a playbook, a workflow, a how-to script, and you give it to AI, and it follows it. And sure, you need to tweak it because you'll keep learning as you go. But every step makes the next step easier. That's how you scale. That's how you thrive. You start small, build with intention, and over time, you won't just be using AI to help you with a task at hand. You'll have AI use the systems that you built together to do more than you ever thought was possible. And one step you could take is to think about a tool that would help you do your job better right now. Maybe it's something you've had in your head forever, but you didn't have the funds to bring on a full-time developer to create it, or the time to devote to it yourself. Or maybe you're just thinking about a task that you don't enjoy, and you'd love to offload it to someone or something. Perhaps you could even tell AI to build a web app that does 90% of the heavy lifting for you. That's why I'm building Dev Nitro. It's an AI web app builder. It's literally an app that builds apps. So if you have an idea now, or if you think of one later, you can jump on and try it out. It might be the next level of leverage that you've been looking for. You could even call it a way to leverage your leverage.